Good morning, Golden K.
Good morning.
We got a good day today. Okay, we're going to be singing Yankee Doodle today. The Pledge of Allegiance and Kiwanis Pledge, and it'll be led by Ron Black. And we'll have John Baird on the piano. He's been practicing. And we got, for the invocation, then we have Ron Black as well.
As you know, we're singing a variety of songs celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. So let me give you a little background on Yankee Doodle before we sing it. The tune for Yankee Doodle appeared sometime in the 15th century, but its origin is uncertain. The first English song set to this tune was created by Richard Shuckburgh, a British surgeon during the French and Indian War. The words for Yankee Doodle were composed by Edward Bangs, who was a sophomore at Harvard and a Minuteman when he wrote the poem in 1776. His ballad had 15 verses. Bangs' words were put to the tune and it became popular during the Revolutionary War. Today we will sing only 2 of those verses. We'll save the other 13 for another time. So having said that, let's start our meeting, shall we? Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony. He stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle, candy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Good, and there we saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle, candy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Then let's say pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then our Kiwanis Pledge. As our country's flag signifies purity, valor, and justice, may we as true Kiwanians exemplify these virtues as we serve the children of the world. Let's pray. Gracious Lord, we thank you for the privilege of coming together and of serving our community. We pray, Lord, that you would always help us to be focused on what makes our community a better place, and whether individually or collectively, help us, Lord, to do what we can to make this better. We thank you again for that privilege. And now we ask that you would have your will and your way in all that happens in this time we share together. Amen.
Good morning, Golden K. I'm happy to introduce to you today Vanessa Duncan from Mattoon, who drives up to Decatur whenever we invite her to tell us about the Special Olympics and the Polar Plunge programs. Vanessa is the Assistant Director of Development for Special Olympics in Region I in Illinois, and she is passionate about providing activities and opportunities for persons with intellectual disabilities. Golden K Club has been supporting the Special Olympics every year for longer than I've been a member. If you visit their website, you will see, and it's up on the screen, you will see that they display our logo. That's in appreciation for the support we've given, and we thank you for that publicity. Please give a warm welcome to Vanessa Duncan from Mattoon.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I wish Ryan was able to join me with me this year, but he is out on vacation, so hopefully next time. Perfect timing. As John so nicely introduced me, my name is Vanessa Duncan. I'm the Special Olympics Illinois Region I Assistant Director. Our region director is Joni Keys, and our headquarters is on North Water Street in Decatur. My office is in Mattoon, and we also have another satellite office in Tuscola, because there are 3 of us staff for Region I. Well, let's see if the clicker works. Perfect. So one of the things I'd like to just talk about real quick is what Special Olympics Illinois is. Primarily, we're a sports organization. And you can see that we actually have over 18,000 athletes, traditional athletes. That means individuals with special needs throughout the state of Illinois. Region I actually has 1,321. I looked it up yesterday just to make sure when I was updating things. So I thought you might like to know that. Also, we do have a young athletes program for ages 2 to 7, and that includes all 2 to 7-year-olds, because every child that age is learning the motor skills of sports, right? They're learning how to run, they're learning how to throw. So that's an all-inclusive program. We also boast on our volunteers throughout the state, over 31,000 volunteers, which does include, I'm sure, many of you as you volunteer. I saw on your boards, a lot of volunteering you all do. We do have over 275 sports competitions in Region I. Our region, we actually host 16 of them, including next weekend. I put a little flyer about our next weekend's track and field competition at Warrensburg-Latham High School. That's our second track and field competition. We had one at EIU last Friday. So, and then 18 Olympic type sports, and that's because all our sports have adaptations for individuals with special needs. So, how is it that you make an impact? Well, as John mentioned, Golden Cake Kiwanis are one of our main sponsors for our Region I Polar Plunge Indicator, which is actually our largest fundraiser throughout the year. This year it raised $95,000, thanks to plungers who braved that water and sponsors like you all. Now, that's phenomenal, because that probably covers 3/4 of our 16 competitions that we run throughout the year. So, but also, volunteering makes an impact. All our coaches are volunteers with the organization. We do provide coaches trainings for free. We assist them, but generally week-to-week practices, when we have 82 teams in the region, there's no way the 3 of us could be all of those places. So we do come out to practices if invited to help out, especially when athletes are trying out new sports. And then our family leadership, and that's how I was just talking to a gentleman whose daughter worked for Special Olympics Incorporated out of Washington, D.C. He's somewhere, maybe I should put on my glasses, but the fun thing about that is that families get involved. It's when you have an athlete with special needs in your family, or even a child who works for Special Olympics in some capacity, you tend to get involved. And that always makes an impact. So one of the things I kind of did yesterday, and that is super hard to read, so I'm just gonna go through it. I updated this yesterday because I wanted to highlight some of our upcoming events that we have coming on. We have the Warrensburg-Latham Spring Games that I mentioned up there. We have our state summer games competition, which is the 12th through the 14th up at ISU. And that actually has 8 different sports represented at that competition. So swimming, gymnastics, track and field, powerlifting. And we have athletes in all of those sports, bocce. So that's an upcoming event. Also, Region I has hosted a state golf competition, which is in September. So that is a huge one where, you know, if you're a golfer, we'd love to have you out on the course, maybe as a scorekeeper, or maybe even as one of the, what do they call them? The golfer warrens, the people who keep the golf course, make sure it keeps flowing and people are following the rules. But yeah, volunteers are always needed for that, so we love that. But this is just kind of highlighting some of the upcoming competitions right here in Region I. So we just finished our polar plunge season, as I mentioned, Decatur being our largest of the 4. So I run 4 polar plunges: Decatur, Effingham, Mahomet, and then Eastern Illinois University has a glow-in-the-dark polar plunge. Now, I only polar plunged once. It was my 13th year plunging. This year was so much better than last year when we broke out, you know, the ice and had to move ice. I had a hard time getting out of the lake. Lake Sarah was really hard climbing out last year. So I did it much better this year, made it all the way. But essentially, like I said, our polar plunges covers our events mostly throughout the year. We do host a few other fundraisers, but that is primarily, you know, where we get our funds. And all our athletes get free programming. So when I mentioned those 1,321 athletes, it's all free for them, for their parents. There's never a spectator fee because we always want to fill the stands when our athletes are competing. And we provide lunches at the competition. So those funds not only cover the cost of the venue, the insurance, because we do provide insurance for all our athletes and coaches to and from events and at events, and to and from practices and at practices, but it also covers the medals that they win, their advancement, so their hotel stipends to advance to state summer games or USA games, because that's also coming up this year in Minnesota. And Team Illinois, I don't know if you know, we're sending 83 athletes from Illinois. We have 3 in Region I. So we're really excited. We have a bowler from Danville, a power lifter from Champaign, and a track runner from Effingham. So excited to see them compete up in Minnesota. I wish I could get, but maybe next time. Yeah, and then also we do have a cool school challenge, which kind of invites our high schools. So Moreau Forsyth High School raised $14,000 this year for their polar plunge team. And then, so we gave $1,000 back to their National Honor Society group, which kind of led that school inclusive. So, a little bit about the polar plunge and why you guys are wonderful to help out. Our last thing that I kind of want to go over is we do have a new program, and it's an esports program. During COVID, we realized, you know, how many people like the online gaming aspect. So esports covers, they do Mario Kart. You can see he's got the NASCAR, you know, game. So that is another option for many athletes that have aged out of sports. Maybe they want to try something different. So it's really cool. I'm not really into gaming myself too much, but our younger generation of athletes seem to love it. They'll compete in 1 or 2 sports and then do esports in the women. All right. Lastly, just how people can kind of step up and you know, get involved with Special Olympics. So we do have, our website is soill.org, but then we have a calendar of events that includes all our Region I competitions, the list I was going over. Connect with us anytime. As I said, John has my contact information. If you actually look up Special Olympics Decatur, you'll find Joni and my contact information. So we're right out there for you. And then, you know, we always invite you, please, we always need volunteers, or you're more than welcome to take the plunge with me, but it's another way that you can always get involved and help out. And so questions. It was kind of a brief overview, so I thought maybe you guys might have a little bit more time for some questions.
Have you ever thought of having a hot bath plunge?
No, but I actually did attend a polar plunge in Florida, and it was on the 4th of January, and it was 93 degrees that day. I mean, the ocean water was like 84, and I'm like, how are you guys calling this a polar plunge? So I invited the Florida staff to come up to Illinois and experience what a true polar plunge was. And they're like, you know, though, it was like 70 last week. That would have been horrible. Okay.
So right here, I've got a question.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Having not competed and or not participated, I don't know much about it. Is it competitive, or is it just you're challenging yourself to get in the water?
Oh, well, as far as the plunge is very competitive. Our plungers actually raise donations from their friends and family, because friends and family, like my cousins actually donate, like each of them, they compete to donate $100, one will donate $105, you know, to step them up, because they actually love to laugh as I am going in that water. So, you know, collecting donations, and then we see we give out awards for the teams that raise the most funds, the individuals, and I just want to give a shout out. So I don't know if you guys know Courtney Lindsay. She's a Decatur resident. She raised she's the individual who raised the most funds in the entire state of Illinois, and she raised $27,000 on her own. Courtney Lindsay from Decatur. If you go to our Plunge Illinois website, she's on the leaderboard. You just scroll down a little bit, it's her picture from Decatur Plunge, it gives her total. I mean, when we had our plunger check-in at the KFC hall, and she came in that night, and she came in with a stack of checks like this, and I looked at her, and she said, yeah, I think that's just like 20,000 in checks, I'm not sure. And I was like, oh, okay. I was just so impressed. But yes, so we do have competition. It is very competitive. And then we also have a costume contest. So if you look me up on Facebook, I'm wearing my Wonder Woman costume.
What happens Saturday if you get rained out?
So we hopefully don't get rained out. He didn't say that. Okay. But if we do have a rain out day, unfortunately we have a lottery for all the athletes, because it's competitive for our athletes. They're wanting that gold medal, because that's how you advance to the state summer games. You have to get gold in your event. You can do up to 3 events in track and field, so you could do, you know, a 50-meter run, and then maybe shot put, and then a relay. But you know, you have to win gold in your events to go. And you only have to win gold in one of your events, and you can advance. But lottery if it rains.
Thank you, Vanessa. You were talking about the polar event, and I kind of shut that down. And right after that, you talked about the event taking place next weekend at Wardsburg. Could you give us a little more detail? I probably missed that. But.
Oh, no, that's kind of, I would like to go into more detail. I kind of breezed over that in the overview. So this coming Saturday is our track and field competition. It's our second track and field competition, because that's one of our biggest sports. So we have athletes who compete in track events, which include anywhere from 50 up to the mile. Our wheelchair races, which include just wheelchair sprints or even wheelchair slaloms. We also have our blind athlete races that they race with a guide rope. And then we have our field events, which includes shot put, which I run. I run the shot put and the running long jump, and I always need measures. I always need somebody to write down the scores as I read them off too. If that's something you're interested in. But we also have softball throw, which is a version of shot put, but done with a softball. We also have tennis ball throw, which is for our athletes who may not have the arm strength or arm ability to hold a softball. And then we also have mini javelin. Yeah. Yes. Mini javelin. It is like long darts, but they're with the rubber tips, and it's about this long, and it's like you might see a longer javelin. They have to throw it, and we measure the distance of their throw. And then we also have standing long jump. So yeah, we need timers out on the track, you know, to you can run a stopwatch and cheer them on as they're coming down. You know, we need people out there. We need measures for all of our field events, or reporters. We are a little bit shy on volunteers this year, so I know it's a busy weekend with a lot of our graduating high school seniors and things like that going on, so.
Back to the polar plunge. Seems like a pretty major physiologic event. Do people have to sign a waiver before you do that? And do you have healthcare providers available if something happens?
So, great 2 questions. Yes, all polar plungers, when they register, do sign a waiver that they are not going to sue us. But then we take all the precautionary measures. So, like this year with the drought, if you went out to Lake Decatur, the water was so receded, and we could see some debris and things like that. So we called the help of the Decatur Park District. They got out there with scrapers and removed all that debris. Then the fire department came out and did a scan for us of the water to see where the drop-offs would be. So that day, of course, we had our rescue divers in the water that prevent any plungers from going past a certain point where that drop-off is, and then we also have our ambulance right there on the beach, ready to go. So it is, we keep all our plungers safe. That is our first priority with polar plunge for sure. Great question though. You can toe tip. We have a lot of people who, polar raise the money because they love our hoodie. Did you love our hoodie? Yes, it is comfy. All polar plungers with their $100 donations, in donations, that's the minimum. That's what it requires to be a polar plunger. You get the coveted plunger hoodie. Now, only a sponsor or a plunger can get those. We don't sell them. So it's kind of a badge of honor to have a hoodie because people know that you raise donations and you took the polar plunge. But we do have a lot of plungers who, for health reasons, they walk to the beach and toe tip. That's not a problem. We have athletes who do that. So however, people want to do it. You plunge your way, we're okay with that.
And Vanessa did send us a hoodie
Yes.
that I think you showed a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, right.
Sweatshirt hoodie.
Back to your track event this coming weekend. That's Saturday at Warrensburg, right?
Yes.
What time?
So opening ceremonies is at 9 a.m. and competition kicks off right at 10 o'clock.
You take walk-in volunteers?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Kevin, go about answering questions.
We're older people here, so you probably assumed that we knew the joy that comes from being around special needs kids and how joyous they are, and it just leaves you with, but I think that would be a good thing to add to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, like he said, my favorite parts of the year are the days that I get to spend with the athletes. So last Friday at the youth spring games, which is our first track and field competition, I was running East track, and the whole day I just smiled. The whole way back, hauling that trailer from EIU back here to Decatur, I just smiled the whole way until I got in Decatur, and it was a little rocky. But with that big trailer and all the lights. But it just, you can't imagine how much they appreciate you for being there, and the smiles on their face. Usually it doesn't even matter if they get gold. If they get awarded a silver medal, a bronze medal, a 4th place, they're happy because they accomplished something that day that, a lot of people think they maybe couldn't accomplish. So, it is heartwarming if you're around our athletes. I would say it's kind of a life-changing experience. It's like my best job in the world. So.
I have a recollection that the Kennedy family was involved in the origins of the Special Olympics. Can you give us a little update or history of how that evolved?
Yeah, so 1968, Special Olympics started in Illinois. The first competition was at Soldier Field, and Eunice Kennedy Shriver actually started the organization. She also worked in conjunction with a professor down at Carbondale, SIU Carbondale, at the Touch of Nature. And so they hosted that very next year, another competition. EIU Spring Games, which is one of the oldest competitions in Special Olympics, started in 1972, so just 4 years later. Essentially, now Tim Shriver, her son, is our president and CEO of Special Olympics Incorporated. They are based out of Washington, D.C., and they're our parent company. Each state has, we are Special Olympics Illinois, there's Special Olympics Florida, Maine. Our parent company is Special Olympics Incorporated, and they're in charge of running our World Games. So when our athletes advance to World Games competitions or USA Games, which is happening this summer. So that's kind of what they do as our parent organization. They run those larger competitions for our athletes.
So is there a Special Olympics International?
It's Special Olympics Inc. It's incorporated. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Yes. So.
Going along with that, I actually volunteered at the first Special Olympics in Connecticut when I was in high school. So I'm going to my 55th class reunion this year, so you know that was a long time ago. And Ethel Kennedy was there. I met Ethel Kennedy and Rayford Johnson, and it rained that day, part of the day. And while it was raining, Ethel Kennedy stood and shook the hand of every participant that was there. She didn't have an umbrella, she didn't have, any rain protection. She stood out in the rain and shook the hand of every single athlete, which I thought was amazing at the time.
Oh, I believe.
And I'm not sure what year it was, but I don't think I was old enough to drive. So it was, 60 something.
Yeah, well, in 2018, when we had our 50th anniversary up in Chicago, I got to meet Maria Shriver and Tim Shriver, and they are just like that. They were so humble. They walked around and, thanked volunteers and shook people's hands. I mean, truly.
She really was wonderful. She was wonderful.
Yeah, truly, they really did walk the walk and talk the talk as far as leading by example in Special Olympics. I'm glad you got to meet them. That was really cool.
So special needs is quite a spectrum. How do you determine if someone is eligible to participate in the Special Olympics? And once you do that, how do you, if you do, try to level set the competition so that people with varying ages or degrees of special needs can stay competitive?
That's a perfect question. So, to become a Special Olympics athlete, we don't question your diagnosis. So a person can have autism, be on the autism spectrum. A person can have some very severe Down syndrome, special needs. So it's really up to the application. You just apply, and as long as you apply and make sure that the information, your health history information, is on there, you can become an athlete. Now, competition's a little bit different. Every athlete's required to practice for 8 weeks. And the reason why is because we want them to get practice scores. We also want them to know the rules of the sport, because we don't want them to get disqualified. So, for example, in bowling, they practice 8 weeks and they turn in an average of their scores after 8 weeks, so we can division them against athletes of other abilities. We division, we have age divisions, so that we don't have a 12-year-old athlete going against a 50-year-old athlete. And we also have gender divisions, usually males compete against males, females against males, and we also have our preliminary score, which divisions them. So we factor all that in, and then our heats, we can go up to 8 people per heat. Usually there's maybe 5 or 6 per heat, but yeah. It is true, just like any sports your children played or even yourself played, it's expected to practice and know what you're doing out there during competition, and so they learn. Go ahead. Great question.
I worked Special Olympics a bunch of years with Jim Comerford in the 80s, and not to be outdone by one of the Kennedys, we did have the Lone Ranger here one year.
So Patrick Comerford is still, Jim's son, is still on our committee, and so we'll actually be setting up on Friday, and yeah, I'll be hauling the trailer later today. I've got an outfit to change into that is a little less high heels, but but yeah, I love Patrick, and Jim, great guy, because I still get to see him.
Just an observation, not a question. But my husband volunteered, I think, at track and field. This is some years ago. And I remember him coming back and saying it was the most pleasurable and exciting thing that he had ever helped at. He said every single one of the kids, whether they won or not, was happy, was terribly excited that they were able to do that.
I agree. I mean, to be honest, when you're around our athletes, you realize how they can change your perspective and maybe make it, you look at things differently and feel like happier inside. I think they bring that to me as well. And a lot of people really, just because they don't worry about things that we do, and in fact, also their sportsmanship. I just have to share this story. So we had a race this past Friday, and one of our athletes, he just was going, but he kind of tripped, and he did a facer, and all four of the other athletes who were running with him stopped to help him. All four of them. And all four of them got him up, and one was wiping off his knees, and one was like wiping his nose off, and then they walked together, holding hands to the finish line, and like it was a bawling moment for anybody who was standing there watching it. Technically, they all got disqualified from the race, but we awarded them some special medals that day. They all got golds. We just explained to the coaches, there's nobody who technically won. They all walked in together, and nobody was in the right lane. It was, so.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for coming to tell us about Special Olympics. We have a certificate of appreciation for you, and we have a special Golden Kiwanis pen. I don't know if it would survive a polar plunge, so keep it dry.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be back. And I was kind of reviewing this morning some of the important words that we've worked on over the last couple of months here, like meldrop and
I meldrop all the time.
Yeah, that's a common one. That's a common one, not so common in Stabulinorium, the gravel pit. I don't know if anybody's been using that or not, but Yarborough, we used that in a card game the other night when one of ours got Yarborough, which is nothing above a 9. Boy, is that a bummer. So I got a new one for you today. Octotharp. Now, your first inclination is going to be to grab the octa and run with it, and that's wrong. It's not, it has nothing to do with 8, okay? It's not an 8. No, and I was trying to think of what sort of hint to give you with this one to steer you in the right direction. And I don't know what else to say other than it's something that you would find on a keyboard. That's what you were going to say, yeah, Kevin. I'm sure, Kevin. Sorry I took your answer, Kevin.
John says it's his middle name.
Pardon?
John says it's his middle name.
His middle name? I'm not sure that's found on a keyboard, but anyway, that's not the answer. Yeah.
It has to be a musical term.
All right, let me say this again. It's found on a computer keyboard.
Is it the dust between the keys?
Is it what?
The dust between the keys?
No, but that would be a good one. I bet there's a word for that too.
Is it a symbol?
Yes, it is. The question was, is it a symbol? And it is one. It is a symbol.
Piano.
No, this is on a computer keyboard now. Kathy?
Is it the pound sign or the?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yes, it is. Come on.
And we're not spinning the wheel today. You are the winner of the YM of the United Way sweatshirt.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Nice and heavy.
Okay, show us the sweatshirt. All right. Now we expect you to be at the Polish lunch.
Hey Dick, an observation, that thing has 8 points on it.
So I've been sharing with you little segments of information that came out of the survey of members. I've got another one here. The members indicated that the club should maintain clear and current connections with organizations that we support financially. Some members expressed the feeling that they felt that certain agencies, that our relationship had become one of earning money, giving money, earning money, giving money. And that there was not a strong engagement other than that. And that we really needed to work to develop a more participatory relationship with all of our member agencies by having them speak to us periodically and being sure that we learned how our money was being used. And also trying to see if there were ways that members here could volunteer and participate within that organization. And that out of this, this might mean reviewing our list of supported organizations and determining what our relationship with each one is, and should it remain active and meaningful, or is it time to perhaps replace that group with a different group. So we're going to be doing some looking at that to see, you know, kind of where we stand with groups and making sure that we can try to meet those criteria better. So that was excellent feedback that we got in that area. Okay, and I think we're ready for attendance with Linda.
Today we have 54 members present with one guest speaker. That's a total of 55, and no guests this week.
Okay, very good. Roberta, give a health report.
I don't have a lot to say today. I can say that Marcia continues to make progress. I know that Cheryl visited with her, and she now is at home alone with services, but no one is staying with her anymore. So that's an indication that she is doing better. She still has a long road ahead of her, and I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you in terms of cards, things like that. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Birthdays and anniversaries, Kevin?
Yeah, birthdays and anniversary from the 10th to the 16th. We have a birthday on the 10th, Joyce Robinson. She's going to be 88 years young. Let's sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you.
Anniversaries, we've got two. First of all, on the 13th, Marilyn and Ron Black. It'll be 47 years. On the 16th, Mike and Lisa Carr. It'll be 39 years. Let's sing.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, God bless you. Happy anniversary to you.
Oh yeah, Bob Hope. He was kind of worried about our judicial system at one point, and he was saying, you know, bigamy is the only crime where two rights make a wrong.
All right. Okay. Announcements here. Cheryl.
Just a reminder, Franklin Grove will have their play day on Friday, May the 22nd from 8 until 11. I have a sign-up sheet over there. The first hours are 8 to 10 and 10 to 11. Please sign up for the 2 hours before signing up for just the 1 hour, because we will need probably more people for 2 hours than 1 hour. Thank you.
Okay. Kyle Anderson.
Okay, I have two announcements today. First, I want to talk about the golf outing. We're closing in on it. We have about 5 weeks left. I think we're up to about $7,000 on hole sponsors right now. So we're doing pretty well. I think all the envelopes that we had pre-made have either been distributed or some have been mailed. If you need any blanks, personally, I carry them around in a car, at least one in the car, and I've given out 2 just for people said, can I get a blank? I said, yeah, let me run out and get it to my car. So hopefully we're moving along on that. We definitely need golfers. We want to have more golfers. We don't make the money off of golfers so much, but we like to have them. It gives the outing a nice feel. Plus, we have 50-50, we have the silent auction, we have other things going on, the meal. So please, if you're going to golf in that, I asked last week to let us know, even if you don't formally sign up, at least tell us if you're going to get a group together. I mentioned the silent auction. If you have anything thinking of contributing, please see Linda Dornell and at least tell her what you're thinking of giving. Another thing I do want to remind everybody about is 50-50. We have 50/50 tickets to sell. You can get them here. I think we're going to be able to give you some if you want to take them and sell them, outside of the meeting. So please think about the 50/50. I think that's, the other thing is we need to make a decision, Cheryl and I think, about how many diners we're going to have, how many people are going to come to the dinner. We have to give the people an estimate by next Friday, and we have to pay for half the dinners. So if you're coming to the dinner, we need to know. We're going to use last year as kind of a guideline, but the better idea we have, I think the more accurate it'll be. Plus, we may not have to pay for dinners that nobody's going to eat. So please think about all those things. Again, this is our largest fundraiser of the year, and now we're in the home stretch on it, and we just really want to make it a success. The other thing I want to talk about is Adopt a Street. We adopted the date of May 16th, Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. I'd like to have at least 8 people, 12 people. You can be the official first person on the sign-up sheet. Please come up and see me after the meeting and sign up. It's going to take about an hour to an hour and a half at the most. Anybody who hasn't done this, basically, we break up in teams of 2 or 3 people. One person carries a bag, one person will have like a picker-upper, and another person may just bend over and pick some stuff. I'll supply the gloves, the bags, the picker-uppers, everything. All you need to do is show up, preferably in your Kiwanis gear. You have to be prepared to walk about maybe a mile, 3/4 of a mile. So again, we break up in teams, and if we don't have enough, we'll just maybe do half of it and reschedule the other half for another day. So please, come sign up, and that's all I have today.
Okay, very good. That activity also includes all the free trash that you want to do. Okay, Linda Durham.
I'm going to make an announcement for Paula Lukenville because she's not here this morning. She's having a caps and lid sorting workshop tomorrow, Thursday, May 7th, at the zoo, again, 9 to noon. Early birds can get there about 8:30. One thing she wanted you to know was if you don't get there by 9:15, those of you that did this last week, Sue's very well smiling, you may not be able to find a parking place. School field trips are taking place right now, and the parking lot was absolutely full. Some people had to park over at the Children's Museum, and so get there early and have a parking place, and you'll be good. I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Roberta.
This morning I brought some women's gear. These are closeouts. They are from our old vendor. I can't get these anymore. I have several different ones. I have one of this shirt, which is very popular. It's a large, I think. Yes, it's a large. I have one tunic. It's also a large. I have 2 of these 3/4 sleeve blouses with kind of a V-neck. I have one that's a large and one that's a medium. I'll take $20 for any of them. So if you're interested, let me know.
Okay, Bargain City. All right. Got another one?
Good morning. I have the sign-up sheet over on the table for Good Samaritan in May, which will be May 26th. And I have some material over there for trauma dolls. And boy, did we have a week this week for trauma dolls. We took 14 trauma dolls to Macon County Health Department to the dentist. We took 32 trauma dolls to the Macon County Health Department for the inoculation center. Roberta happened to be there, and they said they were out, so she called me immediately, so I was on my way and took the dolls over there. She was delighted when we got there. And we took 18 dolls to St. Mary's Hospital emergency room. They were also delighted. And I thought, oh my goodness, we're almost out. And the phone rings, and it's Connie Doty from Jerger's Teddy Bear Dentistry. And she said, we're out of dolls. Do you have any? And I said, it's the bottom of the box. So she got 16 dolls. So this week alone, we took out 78 trauma dolls, which was wonderful. But now we have none. So I said to Linda Durner last night, my computer's in the hospital, so I can't print out the calendar. And she said, well, you won't believe it. I looked at May, and there's not any days in May that there's not 5 things already going on. So we're trying to schedule a work day for trauma dolls after the 1st of June. And I have none. I've got material, but I don't have any dolls. So I'll just, if people call, I'll tell them, take a break and we'll get them to you as fast as we can. Thank you.
I have a couple of things. It's kind of short notice, but this is when I got it. Kathy Sorensen called and said, Monday, this coming Monday, the 11th, we are going to beautify Decatur and our surroundings by planting flowers. Now there's a sign-up sheet over there. They're by the flower and the gloves and a garden trawl. So if you could sign up for that, we usually do maybe 20 of the concrete flower pots. So all along El Dorado, so you can definitely see what we have done as Golden Cape people. We will meet at the Decatur Public Library parking lot at 8:30 in the morning. And so please sign up today. We need your phone number so I can call you if it rains. And if it does rain, it's scheduled for the very next day on Tuesday. And we always usually have a pretty good outcome for that. So it's Monday the 11th, 9:30, Decatur Public Library will be planting flowers. One more thing, it's not for a little while, but I'm thinking here, I had it on my calendar, it's the women's tennis tournament in Fairview Park. Chuck wanted us to drive again, and it is, believe it or not, the 8th of June, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And that is the 4 days before our golf tournament. Yeah. And so it's you do 2-hour shifts, and it's probably from 8 to like 5 or 6. And you just drive a van from Fairview Park Tennis Court out to the convention center, back and forth to pick up tennis players. And we've done this for many years. Jack Kenny did it before he handed it over to me. And I'm sorry about the dates, but that's what they're doing. And so I said yes, and I know it's hard, but if you enjoy that, then please sign up. I don't have a sign-up sheet because I don't have the exact hours yet, but I'll be getting that out hopefully next week. But the first thing is planting flowers next Monday, 8:30, Decatur Public Library.
There's a sign-up sheet over there?
For flowers.
Okay.
Yeah, sign-up sheet's right over there. There's a little flower there. And
Donna, you provide the flowers, right?
Absolutely not. It's great. I mean, the gal out in Latham, I think is that Connie? Whew, they're beautiful flowers. They water them and take care of them. And you've seen them before all over Decatur. They're just absolutely beautiful. And that's the Beautify Decatur project with the Master Gardeners and Kiwanis, some other people. So sign up. Thank you.
Okay, good.
I'm going to go through and crown June a little bit more on after Kite Day that we had. A teacher from MacArthur went through and said she had a wonderful time and that she would like for us to host a Kite Day for her special needs class that she teaches during the summer. And we went through and said, yes, we would be happy to go through and do that. We've got plenty of kites left over from our first day. It's a great opportunity. It won't be as long as what our original COD day was, because this is only gonna be like 9 to 11:30. But we would like to go through and have volunteers come out and help, with helping these kids color the kites and fly them. It should be another good day, and it was just exciting to go through and have somebody go through and respond back on Facebook saying they enjoyed the day.
Yeah, that's great. That's really
What day
great.
was that?
Next Wednesday, immediately after the regular meeting, we'll be having an orientation session for those new members who have joined, and it should take less than a half an hour to do that. So if all new members would plan to attend that would be helpful.
All right. Okay, Tom, I think we've covered it. Thank you.
Okay, we do have a board meeting next Monday at 1 o'clock. Those of you that are going to plant flowers then, wash your hands afterwards, and you can come to the meeting then at 1 o'clock at Central Christian Church. We have our induction ceremony next Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to it. We got 3 members that we're going to induct, and their sponsors should be here. And we'll have the Lieutenant Governor Carol Burweich will be here to assist in that induction ceremony. So looking forward to that. Also next week, we're going to go over the update on our bylaws. This is a very important meeting because you'll vote on this after the presentation. Linda headed up that bylaws meetings or the committee, and we've updated those bylaws, and you need to know the information that has been put together and vote on that next week. So this is very important, and that you're here for those 2 important things. One other announcement, Miss Lewis, she's the Mount Zion Key Club advisor, said that the Key Club could use some help parking cars from 1 to 4 on May 30th at the block party by Crawford's and Vivos. She has members signed up at the entrance, but could use a few adults to help direct cars. They will receive a portion of the profits from this day. If any Golden K members would be willing to help do that, you can check with Linda Durnall about the link involved to get that information. Okay, questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll have our 50-50.
Today we had $70 in donations and ticket sales. So $35 goes to admin, $35 to the pot, which brings the pot to $106. The last 3 numbers are 310, 310.
What was the number? 310, that's me. Hey, John.
Pat.
Eight hearts.
We can start taking those cards out. Goes over to next month then, no winner. Or next week. Okay, happy jug, who's happy?
This Saturday is Steve's birthday, and he couldn't be here today, but you know his little song and dance. He puts in $1 today, and then if he lives to his birthday, then next week he puts in $4. So here's the $1.
I'm happy because we had a presentation here from Jim Hall about the Big Brothers Big Sisters. I now volunteer and on their board, so here's $1 for that. Now wait, I got 2 more.
Oh, we'll wait.
I want to remind you of the Nelson Chicken Dinner. It's $14. I put some information on your tables. I happen to have tickets right here for you, so that's another $1. And then the third one, because I'm a volunteer and pushing Big Brother, I'd like to invite all of you to become either a big brother or a big sister. And I have brochures that tell you just what to do. Thank you.
Okay, I'm putting in $5 to recognize my grandson who's graduating from St. Teresa, but he received a number of awards, of which included National Honor Society, Illinois State Scholar, Spanish Award, Part of Illinois Award, and about 6 others.
Wow.
So he really outdid himself.
Super, yeah, great job.
Well, I'm happy to make it through another year. I love life.
Yes, John Ivins here. I had an amazing time last Thursday at the Impossible Science event at the Civic Center. The kids were deeply curious about what was going on and well behaved, and I think those two things are related. They do a very good job. They travel all over the country. It's a paid gig, but I hope they come back.
Yeah, good. Thanks for mentioning that, John.
I'd like to put in $1. I would like to thank our speaker for coming in talking to us about Special Olympics. I think it's a wonderful program. I also would like to, with this coveted sweatshirt, which I think is pretty special, I would like to donate that for the golf outing as one of the silent auction items.
Oh, wow.
I want to donate $1 on behalf of the new senior center that they broke ground for yesterday at the old Scoville Golf Course. They're calling it Scoville Acres. The current clubhouse there is 7,000 square feet. The new facility, senior center, is going to be 37,000 square feet. And it's really going to be top notch. I want to, of course, donate $1 in honor of my anniversary, although Kevin, it's 48 years, not 47. And I also want to donate $1 because our younger son last Saturday and his girlfriend announced their engagement.
Good.
I put $2 in because the Williams and the Blacks and myself were out at Franklin Grove, and we gave the Teacher Appreciation Week, we gave them a Sunday bar.
Super. Okay.
I got $3. I got a granddaughter graduating from high school and a grandson, the U of I. He'll be out off of the payroll, which is great. And I had already gotten $1 out for Steve, so he's going to owe me $1. I put one in before his birthday for him too, Susan.
Yeah, I'm happy about my 39th anniversary coming up here next week.
Super. Okay. Sure.
I'd like to donate $5
Harold has a grandson, and my grandson are good friends, and my grandson Logan was valedictorian, won the biology award, the citizenship award, and one more. I can't remember what it was now, but those two boys have done a great job at St. Teresa.
Wow.
When I checked in this morning, before the first two people that talked to me after I checked in, both told me how the Cubs are ahead of the Dodgers by 3 percentage points, and I just want to do this in honor of all my good Cub fans here. But I think it's appropriate I put in a $2 bill, because I think that this is probably phony that they're ahead.
I'm not going to touch that one.
I've got $1. My granddaughter got married last weekend out in Boise, Idaho.
Wow, Boise,
I've got $1 putting in because the Dodgers, they took one game from the Dirty Bird Cardinals this week.
And I have $1 for our guest speaker. Thank you for driving up from Mattoon.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Wow, lots of happy people. Okay, let's see. First of all, I'd like to wish Joyce a happy birthday. And I guess I'll wish Steve one also. And although that's begrudgingly. And then one for the Special Olympics. I already mentioned some, but when I was teaching kindergarten, I had a spina bifida student, and sometimes he was in a wheelchair, and sometimes he had other things, but he always said, "Good morning, Mr. Wilmot," whenever he came in. Wow.
All right, I'm dropping in 20 because I just spent a marvelous week with 5 of my 6 kids and had a really great time with every one of them, with all my grandkids, with my newest great-grandchild, whom I had never met, and got to see the in utero next great-grandchild that's on its way. But it was a marvelous week. And also I wanted to put that in there because one of my daughters had the great good fortune of working in the Special Olympics office in Washington, D.C., along with the Shrivers and the Kennedys, and believe me, it was a life-altering experience for her in terms of opening doors for her and moving her on her way into becoming a really significant professional. And it's really been tremendous for her. So I give thanks for that every day.
Sounds like you had a super week. Okay, I have one announcement. I think, Karen, when you were mentioning the new kite day that we got, that's June 15th? That's a Monday.
Yes, it's a Monday.
Okay. And you said what, 9:30 to?
The kids will be there at 9:30 to 11:30. We're going to send me volunteers from 9 to noon.
9 to noon.
Set up, clean up.
Okay, super. Looking forward to that. Okay, our storyteller is Jerry Pelz.
Good morning. I'm going to change things up a little bit today because 2 of my table mates, Kevin and Charles, have been saving fruit for the last few weeks and threatened if I tell any more groaners they are going to bring rotten fruit and throw it at me here. And they have an easy target here sitting at the front. So how many of you remember Abbott and Costello? Yeah, okay. All right, and what were their first names? Do you remember?
Bud and Lou.
Bud and Lou, okay. And it was Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. And what was their kind of famous dialogue that they would do? Who's on first? That's right. Well, the good news is I'm not going to do who's on first. So, but anyway, here is Abbott and Costello-like routine. You remind me of a man. What man? The man with the power. What power? The power of hoodoo. Hoodoo? You do. I do what? You remind me of a man. What man? The man with the power. What power? The power of hoodoo. Hoodoo? You do. I do what? You remind me of a man. And so on and so on and so on.
Okay, next week, like I mentioned, very important meeting. Be here. We'll have an induction of our new members, and the club bylaws will be reviewed and voted on. We are Golden K Kiwanis. We enjoy changing the world for the better by serving children and others. And we are adjourned.